We were talking about how recovery times just change when you age, and that it's like late 20s, early 30s where we see those trends of guys like, yo, I'm not bouncing back from this. And that's when you can't do this like crazy high volume of work, because you'll get by when you're 18, 19. Your body just recovers so fast. But you get up around 30, you start to dial it in, and you have to get very, very efficient.
Right.
What do you think? Like, what do you think that age is where that really sets in, or is it something like you mentioned before? It's like an injury, and then they have to wake up.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, some players will have an awakening in their career, and that's when you often see them think, okay, this is my body is my asset. You know, I need to take care of this. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it's not till later on in their career where they will have this awakening, and that's when they start to do things which is going to help with their recovery and have better habits to ensure that they're fresher when they're going into training. So better practices like improving their sleep habits and nutritional habits and training habits. But early on in their career, they might not need to do that. It's not sustainable, but often what you see is players can get away with not worrying about the recovery habits earlier on, but it's an investment that they're losing out on later on in their career. So what I've seen is the players that figure that stuff out sooner in their career at an early age, whether it's because they've had an injury or they just had good advice, or they're intelligent enough to understand that they need to take care of their main asset, that investment really allows them to have more of a longevitous career and go on into late 30s, and that decline is there's less of a slope to that. It's definitely more gradual, and they can do what they love doing for longer. So I think the sooner they get that and understand that investment is important for that to reduce that decline, the better. But often it doesn't happen until a significant injury has occurred, and then it's like, I need to really focus on like avoiding this from happening again. What are all the things that I can do? But yeah, what I find is it's around that 30, 31, 32 age where you usually start to see that decline, and it comes faster with players that don't take care of themselves as much as what it does with other players. And you see it, like LeBron, like he's still putting up numbers like he did when he was on early in his career.
Yeah,
but he has invested in his body. And he's known for that, which is great. And it's great for our industry that you've got somebody who's playing at that level, at that age, that is preaching that you need to take care of your body at an early age, because this is what the results can be.
Yes. Yeah, I think the 90% of players start taking it very serious once they have that wake-up call, or once they age. But LeBron has been doing that since age 19.
Yeah.
And it just shows when you take care of your body early on, you're setting up your later career.
Sure.
I was just reading a study that suggested the plyometrics you do before age 22 set up your bone, sets you up for, like in your 80s, because you're so adaptable. For men, it was like 22. For women, it was 20. You're so adaptable before that age that like the things you do, you're building up your bone mass and your bone density. And then we're supposed to, like, probably not basketball players, but the average person's going to lose like 4% of that per decade.
Right.
So if you start at the top of the mountain before age 22, it's such a gradual decline compared to like not taking care of yourself early on, starting at the bottom and then trying to climb this uphill battle.
And yeah, exactly. It's just like building those good habits on all areas.
Yeah.
So good behaviors on and off the court, then good training habits, that really leads for great long-term results. So yeah, I totally agree, and it makes complete sense. And you're better off starting at the top of the mountain and only having, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to the bottom than if you start at the bottom of the mountain.
Exactly. Yeah, and LeBron did that. Like, man, breaking down he's one of the few guys in the upper 30s who has almost the same elasticity. And I was mentioning to you earlier, I think a lot of people in their 30s will still have similar explosiveness, like muscular power, but that elasticity goes, that bounce, the spring, the effortless athleticism goes, and he still just springs off one foot like a gazelle. It's unreal.
Yeah, no, he does. I mean, some of that must be genetics.
Yeah, I think he recovers between workouts like on a whole nother level. He seems like that guy who just can go just pound, 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 and then the next day be ready to go.
Yeah, and like recovery is even more essential, as we were saying before, as you get older, because it takes longer to recover, but you can be inefficient with your recovery habits. So you can, if you're in that 30s age group, and you're not getting adequate sleep, and your nutrition isn't optimal, then it's going to take you longer to recover when you need more recovery. So if you need to be more efficient with your recovery methods in that age group to allow for that, optimization of freshness for when you play again.
Right.
So and he does everything he can to facilitate that. So
yeah.
Which is why you can keep doing it. But if you don't put that time in or like take care of it, then it's going to be a lot harder, and then injury risk goes up and performance drops.